Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the 1873 TV. Today I'm privileged to have Mr. John Stewart. He called me the day before yesterday.
That's correct, sir.
Just to share his insights into what he sees as a market gap, particularly in South Africa. This gap is identified because of the various networks that he is part of. Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mawere. Thank you for the opportunity.
Who is John?
I am the founder and the CEO of the National Business Forum, which was founded back in 2003. Ever since, the business has developed and evolved into a networking component, which is called MF Rotary Network. MF Rotary Network focuses on face-to-face networking, so it's physical networking, with the main focus being on business-to-business as well as business-to-client networking. We believe that through the process of face-to-face networking, everybody can be able to forge relationships that matter and also earn the trust and respect of other like-minded individuals. Our whole platform is very unique and very exclusive, and we would like to build this platform to the most unique and only one of its kind platform for business people in the world. That is my vision for the future.
So it's an NPO?
No, it's the National Business Forum is an NPO.
Okay.
Although MF Rotary Network is a private company.
It's a PTY?
That's a PTY, that's correct, sir.
Okay. The forum itself, what are the objects of the forum?
Well, to expedite the wealth and success of business people, to render, a range of services to help business people in achieving their goals in business. No matter what problems they may experience, through our network, through the National Business Forum, we've got a lot of connections to help and to assist everybody that's in need in business to achieve their dream goals.
Is it predominantly white or
No.
predominantly black?
I would say it is basically 50-50 at this point in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find blacks accepting and appreciating, affirming, promoting the idea of networking? Or you find generally people believe that I'm okay?
To be quite honest, with my personal point of view that I noticed over the last couple of months,
Yeah.
I noticed there is a very big demand towards the black business sector to move forward into networking. Through all the ages, networking was used, by politicians and by religious people. If we look at our local taxi industry in South Africa, it's also a matter of networking. Networking enables people to share in the same vision and to work towards achieving their dream goals.
I got Sidney Tarawinga who joined us, and Bill Rodriguez. He says more Marxist nonsense. I'm not sure what Bill is referring to. What is Marxist? Are you talking about Marxism?
No, I do not.
Yeah. So I don't know where Bill gets the sense that there is Marxism being discussed here. You are talking about building communities of shared knowledge,
Absolutely.
of shared experiences,
Absolutely.
insights, ideas, so that people within that community can leverage on each other
Absolutely.
and build more successful communities.
That's true.
And all you are saying is how best can we expand on it, populate it, and get more value out of radio and television platforms.
Absolutely, it's very
Am I
essential.
reading you correctly? So,
100%.
Bill, you may be able to educate us on where you get the sense that there is Marxism. You know what Marxism is? Or can you pretend to know what it is?
I pretend to know, I've got an idea, but I would like to just get his view on how he actually
So, Bill,
sees
if
it.
you know what you are saying, more Marxist nonsense, which means there is something called Marxist nonsense, and all you're saying is more of it. So please tell us the baseline of what you are saying. What is Marxism and what is Marxist nonsense? Then perhaps we can have a conversation on that. But this conversation is really about allowing John to be able to give his own insights into this issue of building a platform, because all too often we have people who are connected on social media, but actually the content that is communicated in those networks does not help someone advance their careers and their business interest.
That's so true.
Actually limits, because we're just sharing and recycling content that has no value except just to mislead others to think that you are doing well, even when we are not doing well. How best do we create communities where people actually know each other and can engage meaningfully and be able to leverage on each other? If you are watching and you have any views, please add your views. So go ahead.
Through the National Business Forum as well as through MF Rotary Network, we have done some intensive research on networking per se. And we have discovered the science behind networking. Now, the most important aspect is, if you target your market audience and if you are market specific, you are likely to have very good results in networking. Networking, the most important part of networking is to build relationships that matter. The more people knowing and liking you, the more obvious that they will support you in business should the need ever arise to acquire your products and or services. So it is just about networking. We cultivate the culture amongst our members to support one another in marketing. At our networking functions, the guys share in between them. They share leads, referrals, and prospects. So it's a matter of joining into a networking family and to be constantly involved in helping one another in achieving their targets and goals.
Okay. So in this program, what is motivating you to reach out? You were interviewed on the station, is it?
Pardon?
Somebody interviewed you.
Yes.
From the 1873
Yes.
Radio.
That's correct. I met Munya here.
Okay.
And I'm very...
Oh, Munya, yeah, okay.
That's correct. He's one of your presenters, and I was so impressed with your station and with the services that you render. And I honestly feel and I believe that if we can join forces and work together, we can honestly render services, unparalleled and unequaled services to the business sector. And, you know, of course, the National Business Forum and MF Rotary Network will never discriminate against race, sex, or creed. We are here to serve the people. We are here to serve our members in achieving their objectives.
Okay. So your idea, maybe we can go through, if you had to implement it, where would you start?
Well, first of all, I would like to start utilizing a channel
to
do live broadcasting at my networking functions.
Perfect.
Now, at our networking functions, our members gather twice a month where they exchange, as I said, leads, referrals, and prospects. But each of them will get a 60-second opportunity to introduce himself to the rest of the networking partners.
Yeah.
He would also be able to address them in regards to his needs and what he is actually offering. Apart from that, one of the members at a networking function will get a 10-minute presentation opportunity to do a proper presentation on his business per se.
And if I want to be a member of the National Business Forum, what does it take?
The National Business Forum is a non-profit organization.
Yeah.
And it is not about making money.
But the membership, is there any membership fee?
Currently, I haven't got any membership fee to the National Business Forum.
So it's free?
It is free. We, however, do run various
Workshops.
Workshops and fundraising projects in order, to keep the ball rolling.
Okay.
But through MF Rotary Network, membership is only 100 Rand per month, which is very affordable.
So it's 1.2 per year.
1.2 per year. And I mean, compared to other networking platforms in South Africa and right through the world, I believe we may be the cheapest, but I make a statement. We may be the most effective as well.
Okay.
So it is all about rendering valuable services and to members. We always try to exceed the expectations of our members.
Yeah.
With with service delivery and service excellence.
Okay. So now we have the radio. Let's say it's a radio show.
Right.
What would be the duration? Is it radio, TV? Which one is the best one?
I would like to actually involve both the radio as well as television into our networking system.
Okay, so let's start with radio.
I think that is a very good idea.
What would be the role of radio? What do you think the role of radio is?
Most importantly, the role of radio is, of course, it's a communications platform.
Okay.
And it is to communicate various opportunities to members of the public and to, the business sector in particular.
So, okay. So your theme on these sessions is what? Is how do you run your sessions? Or how do you intend to run the sessions?
Every networking or cluster function is very unique in the sense that we do give some education on various topics such as marketing, networking, sales, and techniques, of course.
Okay.
It is very important, whenever you would like to enter into a business venture, to be able to analyze the circumstances and to make the appropriate decisions in order to get your business going in the right direction. I read a very, very interesting article. A lot of people, they're talking about advancement and success and progress.
Yeah.
But, in many of these instances, respective businesses does not necessarily show proper growth. So unless you've got constant growth in your business, it is not actually that appropriate to use these words. I would say the better option would be to take the appropriate action. Another wise gentleman once said that you cannot direct, the wind, but you can adjust your sails.
Okay.
So whenever there's action to be taken, it's always good to take the appropriate action and to make sure that you've got the adequate solution for the problem.
Okay, so when do you want to start?
I would like to start our project as soon as possible.
Which is what as soon as possible? Yesterday, tomorrow?
I would like to have done it yesterday,
Okay.
but hopefully within the next week or two, depending upon negotiations that we can finalize in between.
Okay, so what will be required on our side?
I would like to, as I said, at the networking functions, to have the a radio broadcaster available, and to do direct broadcasting, from the different venues
while it's in session.
While it is in session, so it is a matter of live broadcasting, but we can also put that in the podcast, and also broadcast at a later stage.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yes.
And then on membership, how do we make it a win-win situation?
My idea is to actually involve you as part of MF Rotary Network,
Okay.
so that we can run it as a joint venture,
Okay.
and make it work for all the members and business people from all around the world.
So if you are watching out there, Molly, welcome. Do you need mentorship to build and grow your business? If you do, please say yes, so that we can be able to respond, because most people generally, they actually don't know how to get ahead.
It's so
They
true.
don't know how to build their brands. They wait. Imagine you're a lawyer, you're a professional. Where do you get your clients?
Absolutely.
Unless you are enmeshed in problems. How many lawyers sit back at home thinking they're smart? How many doctors have no patience, waiting for that one solitary patient to come and never comes?
That is reality.
How many architects have learned all about designing, but nobody comes across and wants something? So I got Madla Gove Tichafa is just joined. He said yes. Remedy Ngui said yes. So we have two people
Absolutely.
who have said they want to be part of this conversation and to be part of this community of forward thinkers.
Absolutely.
If you are watching there and you believe that your life can be advanced by being part of a community of people who may be your future clients, who may be gateways to clients, who may be able to enlarge your thinking and knowledge, please be the change yourself. Say yes so that John can start following up on you, so that when he builds this or he invites you or you become part of, you know what it is. It's only 100 rand. It's about $6 or something, $6, $7 US dollars
That's
for you
correct.
to be member of this community per month. And it's only 1,200 per year. So imagine how many lunches do you have to give up just to be a member of this community. Vicky Pamela Blige, welcome. So have you noticed, or in your experience, that most people who need help most don't know how to seek it?
That is unfortunately the truth. I do find, and it is a fact that I'm sharing now with all the listeners and all the viewers, that, you know, you can have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people connected in a network. But it doesn't help to have a lot of connections if you haven't got any business relationships with them. So we are trying to cultivate the culture.
But you know how many people are confused about this word business?
Absolutely.
When they call somebody a businessman, what typically do they refer to? What is business? Because for me to be a man that is a businessman, first we agree that we are all men. Why would we put the first name on somebody and say you are now a business man? What is business to you?
Well, business is actually just another word for marketing. If you look at marketing in general, marketing is the comprehensive term used for all sectors within the business sector and industry. From the planning stage up to implementation, it's all about the branding, it's about your marketing, it's about your sales. So the whole business perspective is part of marketing. And marketing is so huge, and if used properly, anybody can actually
So you're
experience
saying
benefits.
marketing and business are one and the same thing?
According to me, it is one and the same thing.
So why call it marketing? Why not call me a marketing man?
In actual fact, we are all doing marketing. A lot of people, they mistake the word marketing and sales with one another. Sales is just part of the marketing plan and of the marketing system. But overall, and if you look at the comprehensive picture, marketing is right from starting your project up to implementation, making a success, or even,
But that's marketing.
that's marketing, that's correct, sir.
Yeah. So if it's marketing, what makes a business, a man, a businessman? Because I assume the people who are saying yes, sometimes they want to be what they are not. So they want to reposition themselves. They want to be they want to be somebody else. They want to put a mask and say, now I am somebody that I was not yesterday. So what is, or what would make a man a businessman? And by man, I mean even a woman.
Well, to be a businessman or a businesswoman, the most important thing is you got to make a decision on what you would like to do with your life, what kind of business industry you would like to be involved in. You must be able to analyze that business's circumstances, whether it's a new business that you start up, whether it's a startup, or whether it's a running concern that you would like to get involved in. But unless you do your groundwork and your research up front to make sure that it is a viable project, you cannot actually experience, the benefits of being a businessman. I would say a businessman is definitely a person who's able to do a proper business plan and a viability study, and to take the business from there and to implement and to make a success.
Okay, so somebody says, I want to know what a businessman is and is not. I hear what you are saying. If you are watching that, are you interested in knowing what would make one a businessman or a businesswoman? Yes or no? If it's yes, please do indicate. If it's no, please also do indicate. We have more than 200 people who are part of this conversation already.
Fantastic.
But most of these people don't participate. They just keep quiet.
It's a pity. If you've got a vision for business, it is the time to express your feelings and concerns, and please.
Don't you find it strange that people, they go to university, they are active. After they qualify, they actually become lazy.
It's so true.
They think they've earned the ticket of life, not knowing that knowledge itself is like a journey. Each step you make, you discover new things that you didn't know, irrespective of whether you've gone to school or you haven't. How many people think they got all the answers because they hold certificates or they hold positions? Even those who have started their own businesses actually think they know better because they've succeeded yesterday. How many have you met who are first generation businessmen or women? So they are lonely in their own households. They are lonely in their own communities. They are under pressure from their friends not to discuss about things that can advantage them in the marketplace.
It's so important what you said. The acquiring of knowledge is a never-ending journey. It is a journey until you pass this life. And it is very important, the more knowledge and experience you can build up in your lifetime, the more in your favor it will count in future. Another thing about networking is, within the networking environment, the word network is actually a verb. We must see it as a verb. You must be able to work and focus in expediting your network. So you must actually put in a lot of effort.
Someone has said network. There are two words. There's a net that you must work within.
Absolutely. You must be able to work your net. That's 100%.
No, you must be able to work within a net. And it is those people who are your cheerleaders. It is those people who can tell you where you're going wrong. It is those people who become your family, your community. Because sometimes even the natural families are not supportive because those relationships are not built on value. So when we say business, don't you agree we're really talking about value-centric approaches to life?
Absolutely. You know, there's a term that we use in business. We call it WIVM. It's an abbreviation.
Yeah.
It stands for what is in it for me.
For me. In fact, we have Tichafa who says, how will this program benefit an aspiring businessman in terms of the most hurdle that a person can face? That is capital. Or is it just a mentoring program? Again, when you look at the construction of capital, there are many people who believe capital is money, when money is a product of value. Have you realized, Tichafa, that actually capital may not be the elephant in the room? But if you are working within a net, if I get a customer, I am halfway there. Because the purpose of any business is to serve. It is the customer who pays. It's the customer who is the first line in any income statement. That is called sales revenue.
Absolutely.
If you have a customer, you have a human need, and people are willing to pay for it, then capital is just one of many factors that are put into play to be able to deliver the outcome that you want, or the market wants. Because you don't do things for yourself and expect to be paid for that. You do things to serve others so that they will pay. And the money they pay is the money that rewards capital and labor. But how many people want to be rewarded or go to a mentoring program? Imagine you are not part of a community. Where are you going to learn if you sit at home? Capital will not have it does not have legs. Have you ever seen capital with legs?
No.
That comes and knocks on your door.
You know, Robert Kiyosaki is the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it's so interesting. I mean, his teachings tells you exactly that the difference between the rich and the poor is the rich, the poor work for money while the rich let their money work for them. So unless you can acquire capital and work with your capital to make more money.
But the biggest capital is human beings.
Absolutely, that's your
the
biggest
people
investment.
you meet are the people who can unlock the potential. Whether it's a physical potential, it's a mental potential, you may come to the end of the road. But Tichafa, unless you become part of a network. I started one initiative called Mawere Circle. And in that circle, I'm saying each one must get 100 people. Because it's expensive for me to meet 100 people.
Absolutely.
But if 100 people can find each other, it's easier for them to get the benefit they want. Because in the 100 people, actually they'll be able to exchange notes. But if you don't belong to a circle, and there are some people who say no, if you say, can you give me 100 names that you would want in your circle? You know what they say? They say, actually, we want to limit it. We want to reduce it. Instead of having 100 people, we want to have what? 10 people.
That's correct. You see,
forgetting that if you fish in a bigger pond, you are likely to catch fish.
For sure. I mean, a very important factor that I can share is if you would like to bake a cake, I mean, first of all, you need a recipe with instructions and ingredients. Unless you follow that recipe by the letter, you will not get the desired, result. I mean, the most important part of business is the recruitment of new clientele. It's so easy to recruit new customers and to build your clientele through a networking basis, because all the guys involved in networking, they work as a unit together in achieving their goals. So it just opens new frontiers, it opens new opportunities to everybody who would like to advance and to make a success of what they are doing. Whether you're an electrician or a plumber or a motor car salesperson or a preacher, if you use networking, you will be successful on condition that you use it in the appropriate fashion and style.
So I hope, Tichafa, that addresses your question. If not, please let us know. Because people think mentoring is a luxury, forgetting that actually in a class of 40, that's why we go to school, to network, to connect with others, so that through others we may be able to find the answers that we need, not through the mentor.
Absolutely.
Some people want one-on-one. Have you discovered one-on-one is too expensive?
One-on-one is a very expensive project, yeah.
So, Tichafa, it's very expensive. You can't go to someone to say, give me capital. Because capital itself does not need capital. Capital is required to achieve certain things. And if you achieve them, there must be somebody who is going to pay for it. And it is the customer who has to pay for it.
Another valuable lesson that I can just share, irrespective of what people buy or the services that they acquire from various companies, it is based on pure needs. It is actually a solution to a problem that people experience, that they will either buy or acquire services. So it is actually a solution that they are looking for, and if you are able to provide the proper solution to your client, then you will be successful.
Okay, what else do you think we have not covered?
Well, to be quite honest, something that I would also like to focus on is to build and to work towards a very fair and corruption-free business society. You know, unfortunately, corruption cripples the business society, but I believe that we've got a lot of good and honest business people, business-minded people who can take it forward and who can make a success. I mean, it would be so awesome to do business with people who's business-orientated and look at the better perspective of business. There's so much that we can do together.
So that's one area. And how big is your coverage? You said you have 100 members so far. Or how many people?
I do have 100,000 people on my database. I've got a lot of members, friends, and business associates, but in total the number is about 100,000 business people.
Yeah.
It's from all business sectors. It's a diversity of business people, ranging, as I said, you know, from your plumbers, electricians, to your financial advisors and attorneys, professional people. But within a cluster, we provide very exclusive services, and we only allow one business professional per business category to become part of a business cluster. So by doing that, we also minimize, you know, the competition for our members, and we give them maximum exposure.
Okay. So if we were to start next week, what should be the starting? What would ignite people to participate and to feel that they ought to be part of this group?
Well, first of all, we are going to do some proper education on the topics, as I mentioned earlier, on marketing, networking, and sales. We are also behind the curtains and behind the scenes. We are busy writing some informative ebooks to help educate our members and the business society, the business community, in advancing, you know, in business. So we're trying to, you know, address all different business topics in some of these ebooks that we are currently busy working on.
So you have e-books that you have developed.
No, I haven't yet developed. I'm still busy in the development phases, but I'm making very good progress. Now, what happens is I also get the insight of various business people, their opinions on certain topics, and we combine that in a very informative book that will be available to business people and readers from all over the world. I mean, it's an e-book.
Okay.
That is something for the close future.
And how much is the e-book?
It all depends upon the contents, upon the topics, but in general, the e-books, they are very affordable. I haven't got a final prices yet, but it will be affordable. It will be much cheaper, than a hard copy that you can buy within a bookstore, for instance.
Okay. So it's an online platform. Assume you are now rolling. What would be the advantage of using public platforms instead of having private workshops, seminars?
First of all, business people can only be successful with the support from the private sector. So we must focus on the private sector and get them involved. I mean, they would like to know where they can actually go and shop or acquire services with confidence from. I mean, it's always good to establish a market where the public can, with trust, actually go and do business. So we are trying to build a business community of trust between buyer and seller.
Okay. And on the radio platform, that have you been following since you were interviewed on the 1873 FM?
I have followed some of the programs and it's very interesting.
Okay, which programs have you been following?
It was about business topics.
Okay.
That I listened, but I must also say that I haven't got the time at this point in time to go and sit and listen at a full show.
No, yeah.
So I do pick up, while working, I pick certain pieces up, but it is very inspiring.
Very inspiring.
Absolutely.
So there is a market for the content.
A very good market indeed.
Okay, I'll let the presenters know. So
and I think the most important thing is, especially having a program, a live program where the public can actually participate. I mean, they can also be schooled, in view of future business ventures that they would like to enter in.
Yeah.
I mean, they would get the opportunity to see how other people network and, get some of the most important networking basics that they can apply in their own networks. I mean, a lot of people, as you said earlier, they've got a lot of followers, on social media.
Yeah.
But unless you connect, I mean, a lot of people, they get involved with social media for various reasons. But if you get involved with social media for the purposes of, expediting your business ventures, I mean, then you've got to focus, to build relationships with people that matter. You must be able to target your audience and you must be market specific. I always say it is very important that whenever you would like to communicate, transactions or business concepts with the public, I mean, you must do it in such a fashion and style that the guy receiving your message, he must be receptive of the information that you would like to share. So try to avoid being boring, be to the point, be market specific, and do it, in great fashion. Build trust in the relationships.
So as we close this program, if you are watching and you have any question for John Stewart, please do. You only have 2 minutes to do so. Otherwise, we will have to see him on air. So I think in closing, what can you say?
I'm very excited that I honestly believe that there is a way forward for us in enabling people to actually have more success in their businesses, whether it's a startup or a running concern, we are able to help and assist them in their marketing ventures. So if anybody would like any information from me, they're welcome to phone me at any time.
Okay.
My cell phone number is 081 238 3717.
But South Africa
It's plus 27.
7.
Yes.
Okay. And the email, are you on social media?
You know, you will laugh at me, but my email address is actually a Gmail email address.
Which is fine.
I like to use my Gmail email address, especially for social media purposes.
Yeah.
But they can email me at any time at mfrotarynetwork@gmail.com. I repeat it, mfrotarynetwork@gmail.com.
Okay. So it looks like there is no question for you. So on that note, we have come to the end of this show. If you need more information, please do watch the video. The information, where to get hold of John, is all there. And hopefully you will see John on this platform talking about the power of building networks for change, networks for progress, networks for value. Thank you.
Thank you.